Hello, welcome to Shad Life. Today I'm going to talk about some products I used last year and then a couple of things I'm going to try out this year. One of the things I tried out last year that I really liked are these 7 IDP knee shin pad combos. These are actually the Sam Hill model. I will post a link in the description. One of the things I really like about these is they don't irritate the back of my knee. I can wear these all day long. I have a pair of these Fox knee pads, knee shin pad combos, and they Velcro on, and one of the issues is they rub on the back of my knee. So they're great for doing like short downhill runs or playing around at the skate park on my BMX bike, things like that. But these are for trail riding. They can go all day long. They're super flexible. And one of the issues I did have is I caught the back of my leg with my pedal, so I scraped it up a little bit. Not too bad, but it did tear a small hole into these, and then over time last year, this hole just got bigger and bigger, and mostly from me pulling it on and then my heel catching it and tearing it bigger. Aside from that, these have been like perfect, and I'm going to continue using these. I actually started using them this year, but one thing I do when I really like a product is I buy more. So I bought a new set, and they're staying in this until I completely destroy these. These knee pads are so good that I got done riding one day and I was wearing shorts with these knee pads, and I went with my friends out to eat, and I'm sitting at the restaurant, and I realized as I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I still have my knee pads on. I must look a little silly walking around with my knee pads. I've completely forgot that I had them on. So if you're looking for good knee pads, these are it. And I can tell you they will protect you. I have a hole in the front here. This was from a pedal slip, and they protected my shin. I didn't get any damage. I felt it, but it did not like cut or cause any bruising or anything, and I was super happy I had these on. So I wear these all the time now. The reason I always wear these now is because I had knee replacement surgery, and last year I was riding and I wasn't wearing knee pads, and I was like, oh, I'm just doing some regular trail rides. Well, there was a skinny, and I went and rode the skinny, and my front wheel slipped off, and I bailed just fine. I was like through the bike, jumped off, everything, but as I was jumping off, my knee, right where my scar is from my knee surgery, hit the backside of my brake lever or my dropper lever, one of those parts, and just split open the scar. I was super upset because I'm like, this thing cost me a lot of money. I'm super happy with it, but I don't need to damage it. So ever since then, I've been wearing knee pads, even if I'm just out on a normal like cross-country style trail ride. So that's the independent, or 7 independent products, I believe is what IDP stands for. I will put a link in the description. You can get the details on those, but I hear a lot of people asking about knee pads, and I always talk about these. Super impressed with them. The next thing I had last year was I bought these Ride Concept shoes, and I forget the model of these. These are the $100 ones. It doesn't really say the model inside, but I will find them and put a link in the description, and I'll put text right down here what the model is. So these are pretty good. I'm not gonna, so I have 510 Freerider Pros. Those are really nice shoes. And then I tried these last year. These I rode almost all last year, and they're not very worn out. These went to Colorado. They've been to Cuyuna. As you can see, they're kind of red colored. Cuyuna turns tires and shoes and stuff red. So these got a lot of use last year, and I have to say they're a pretty good shoe. So if I was to compare these to the Freerider Pros, the two things is these are the cheaper model Ride Concept. I believe they make a more expensive model Ride Concept with a different upper that's more waterproof and weather resistant. These are not, and so the Freerider Pros are better in that sense.
As far as the bottom and the grip go, this is the Ride Concept bottom that's on all their shoes, and Freerider Pros do a similar thing. This is a little bit harder compound than the Freerider Pros. So what that does is it gives me a little bit less, and I'm talking little, we're talking minute things here, traction on the pedal than what the Freerider Pros have. But that can be a good or a bad thing depending on how you're riding. I sometimes like the Freerider Pros, you stick your foot on the pedal, and in this case I'm talking race face Chesters and similar pedals with the metal pins, and I'll stick it on the pedal with the Freerider Pros. I can't adjust my foot, I have to lift it to get it to be on the pedal where I want it to be. These I can adjust a little bit. The other thing with these is they don't tear up, they're torn up a little bit, but my Freerider Pros, they're like really worn, so they don't last as long because they're a softer compound. So that's really up to you, like what you prefer. If you think Freerider Pros or 510 shoes are just too grippy, I recommend trying Ride Concepts. If you're wanting something a little more weather resistant, get the more expensive pair. I will post a few different pairs of these in the description. But yes, I'm happy with these shoes. I won't say they're the best shoe I've used, but they're in the good enough category. I do like them and I wear them quite a bit. So the next thing, so those are what I had last year. So the two things I'm going to talk about now are things I'm going to try out this year. The next one, since we were just talking about shoes, is these inserts. These are actually a skateboard company. They're called Old Bones Therapy, but I saw the ad and I decided I wanted to try these out. These are going to fill kind of more of the BMX niche, and I do skateboard a little bit, but not that much. So I'm going to put these in like a pair of Vans, or I might put them in my Ride Concept Vice shoes, we'll see. But they're designed to give you a little bit more padding, and if you've ever worn Vans or shoes like that, a skate style shoe, they do not have it. They're pretty much flat bottom and you can feel everything, and they don't have a lot of padding, so if you step down hard or land hard, you can sometimes hurt your heel and things like that. I've definitely bruised my heel riding BMX before, where I failed or something or had to step down. So I'm thinking these will be a nice thing to try. I'll let you know how I like them, but I gotta find a shoe for them to go in. I might try Vans. The problem with the Vans I had before is the outside part of Vans, I had the canvas ones, is so thin. I actually crashed once and my frame hit my foot and broke my outside metatarsal. So I need to find shoes now like these or other ones that have more protection on the outside of the foot. So keep that in mind if you're buying riding shoes. You don't really want the uppers to be super thin and so on and so forth. You want them to have some protection for your foot, because your foot can hit a lot of things when you're riding, mountain biking, rocks, trees, things like that. So that's going a little off topic, but yes, I will update you on these once I try them. The next thing, and I just got this yesterday, a lot of riders out there have been talking these up a lot, so I decided I'm going to give it a try, and that's the Ergon Saddle. I watch Sam Pilgrim a lot, and he recently just got sponsored by Ergon. He's not the reason why I'm trying this out, but it is kind of funny that they're sponsoring him. I bought this because I hear a lot of riders just talk about them and how good they are. I got the Pro model, so it's got the titanium rails. I'm gonna, hopefully feel better. This is gonna go on my Esker Hey Duke. The couple of rides I did ride on that bike, the stock saddle sucks. Usually stock saddles are gonna suck, and the reason why is because they're not fitted to your sit bones. You're lucky if the stock saddle feels good.
then keep it. But for the most part, what you want to do is you want to go into a bike shop. You want to sit on their little sit bone measuring device. Any good bike shop will have one. And you sit down, and then when you stand up, you'll see what the width of your sit bones are, and then you want to get the seat that has the right width. So this is the medium large, and that'll make a huge difference, more so than almost the design of the saddle. One thing I really do like about this saddle is it has the ball sack groove in it. I'm sure that's not the technical term, but it's what I call it. So there's no pressure. Is it the perineum? Is that what part of the body is? I'm not into anatomy, but there's a lot of pressure there, and I'll show you my road bike saddle that I just took off, and I actually put one of these on it. I get all this pressure here, and I started doing Zwift, and I'm doing these hour-plus long rides, and I'm just like, oh, this saddle sucks. So saddle's going away, and now I got something that doesn't have pressure. So that's the biggest thing that I notice about this saddle. I don't necessarily like how it looks, but I'm more about the function than I am the fashion in this case. So this will go on my Hey Duke, and I will let you know what I think about it. It's also on my road bike, which is right there, and I actually did put the saddle on it and used it yesterday for about, I think I did about a 19 mile Zwift ride in Watopia, and it felt pretty good, I have to say. And I didn't even use padded shorts because I did it on a whim, and so I think for that I'll definitely want to use padded shorts. But I don't know what it is about road biking, but the pressure points or how long you're sitting, or maybe it's the angle you're leaning, it's very different than mountain biking. And I think it is a mountain bike saddle, and I put it on a road bike, so that might also be the issue, but it was way more comfortable than this saddle by far. So I think I'm gonna have good luck with this on my Hey Duke, and we'll see how I like it on my trainer. If I end up not liking it on my trainer, I'll find like a road bike version or something that's probably more appropriate for that use. But now I'm babbling. That's pretty much what I do. So that's it. So I got the saddle and these old Bones Therapy to use this year. Got the Rod Concepts shoes that I used last year, and my favorite product of last year by far. I'm so impressed with these. I will talk about them all day long if you want. Knee shin pad combos, 80-90 degrees. Wore them, completely forgot I had them on. So if you can have a product that's that good, it's amazing. You know they did something right. So really appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.